Hey everyone, how's it going? Andrew here. Have you ever played this game thinking you'll mod it with some new immersive content, new features, a new timeline, or maybe even some new fixes, only to realize you've made a Frankenstein of a Hearts of Iron experience? Me too. Now, this may come as a shock, but I am actually not that creative.
Yeah, I didn't know. I can't draw dogs. I'm sorry.
Which is why I'm making this video, which is the exact opposite of my last video, of which you should totally watch before seeing this one. Links down below. Now, there is one thing I want to make absolutely clear before we get into talking about some mods, and that is that none of these mods can be seen as bad mods or shitty mods. I think it's important to keep in mind that all of these mods are made by people in their spare time and out of the kindness of their heart. I am in no way going to shit on anyone for being creative and trying to make something for the community. If you watch this video and realize something you made is on my list, just know that this is nothing but me showing some mods I think had a lot of potential and a really bright future, but were for various reasons maybe abandoned by their owners or not developed like they should have been. After all, the mods for Hearts of Iron are completely free of charge, and there is no mega corporation trying to capitalize on this, and this isn't DLC or other monetized content. This is content created by the community, for the community, by people just like you and me. So without any further ado, let's actually start looking at some of the mods for Hearts of Iron 4 that are sadly either dead or abandoned by their owners. The first mod I actually want to talk about is actually one of the very first mods I ever saw on the Steam Workshop, and one of the first ones I actually tried in a Hearts of Iron game, and that is going to be the Infection, a Hearts of Iron scenario, or pretty much just easily nicknamed the Zombie mod. To those of you that know me, you're aware that I am a huge zombie apocalypse fan, and pairing two of my favorite things together, zombies and grand strategy, really seemed like a great mix. The mod itself is pretty self-explanatory. There is a country that is called the Zombie Horde that will slowly spread and invade the countries around it. Sometimes the zombies would get held back. In other cases, the entire world would be completely consumed like in an actually zombie scenario. However, sadly, like most of the other mods on this list, it has not been updated in well over 3 years at this point and is unlikely to receive any new updates. Now, the good thing with any outdated and or quote-unquote abandoned Hearts of Iron mod is that most of them can still be played to this day by simply going into your Steam library and rolling Hearts of Iron 4 back to whatever version the mod was made for. Now, doing this might give you some unintended consequences and some bugs. You're going to see a little bit later in the video on how some of the mods just simply will not work correctly even if you try rolling it back. And unfortunately, that seems to be the case on the Infection mod. On my end, it just does not work like it's intended to do. Hey everybody, Andrew here. Have you ever wanted to march on the Jedi Temple with the Clone Army? Or absolutely dunk on some Geonosians? Or really just do some cool shit in the Clone Wars, but in Hearts of Iron 4? Great, then I've got just the thing. Now, maybe you can't tell, but I'm a really, really big fan of Star Wars. Actually, here's a picture of my favorite Star Wars cup even. Anyway, that's a tangent. It hurts a lot to say that one of my favorite mods for Hearts of Iron 4 right now is seemingly dead. Now, there are 3 noteworthy Star Wars mods out there for Hearts of Iron 4 that are quite big. The first one I ever played was called Star Wars The Clone Wars. This one is also so old to the point where it will not work properly. However, it does have a natural successor called Star Wars Palpatine's Gamble, which is also not updated since 2021. Nevertheless, you can tell this is a really cool total conversion mod with full Star Wars galore. We got planets, space travels, clone troopers, Jedi Knights, and all the factions for the period. Even the Mandalorians are represented here. Palpatine's Gamble still works really well though if you roll your game back to version 1.10.8. However, it is still a shame that it does not get any updates, because even though it is slow to start, once you get this going, it is a real treat. Now, I've already gone ahead and mentioned 2 of my favorite Star Wars mods, that being the Clone Wars and Palpatine's Gamble. The third one, and the one that is kind of dead but not as much as the others, is going to be Star Wars Executor. Now, Star Wars Executor, unlike the 2 other mods, are not total conversion mods, but instead is a concept where Darth Vader's ship, the Executor, has crashed on Earth, and you need to play a campaign in order to dominate the Earth. This mod was last updated in 2022, so like I said, it's not as dead as the other ones on this list. Ah, the Napoleonic Wars. What would it look like if the madman himself had actually won? That's kind of what their creators behind the mod Après moi le Doge wanted to create anyway, where the old monarchies of the world rule supreme. Unlike a lot of the other mods on this list, we've actually played this mod in the past, however you pronounce the name of the mod, back in 2019. Now, what really strikes me with this mod is that it doesn't really have any natural successors as far as I can see, and it features a very interesting time period, and unlike a lot of other mods, it also features some events that will always happen. Certain countries will always end up flipping ideologies, which is quite interesting. Nevertheless, it's surprising to see a total overhaul mod like this, with an interesting story, totally fall through and not receive any more updates, as these kind of tend to stick around for a long time. The last update for Après moi le Déluge was on the 3rd of December of 2021, so I guess we'll see if this one ever comes around again or not. The final mod that is sadly over a year out of date that I want to talk about is In the Name of the Tsar. This is actually a mod that I've kept coming back to year over year for a while now, and it reimagines a scenario where Russia is victorious in the First World War, and where Austria-Hungary is completely defeated, and Germany signs a white peace in 1917, which I think is a super interesting story, which makes it all the more sad that this mod seems to be dead. Germany also ends up being split in the mod, so there are 3 different ways the war could go in regards to just Germany alone. There are focus trees for most nations in Europe. Overall, this is a very well made total conversion mod. Nevertheless, this one was publicly put on hold by the developers in May of 2022 and has not received any updates since. So I think about that's what I had for great mods that died. I would, however, love to hear from you guys in the comments section. What are your favorite Hearts of Iron 4 mods that are no longer being supported? Did I miss any big ones, or maybe you've not heard of any one of these at all? Either way, I'd also love to send a big thanks to all the new people who subscribed in the aftermath of my old video. Really sorry it's taken me this long to follow up. I've moved across the country and landed a new job, so it has been really hectic on me. And as always, I'm streaming way more than I'm making videos these days, so make sure you check out those links down below. Either way, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Injury here. You're probably thinking, where in the fuck are you? And you're thinking, where in the fuck are you? And what are you doing?